Good afternoon on your Tuesday. I'm Geo-Environmental Atmosphere Forecaster Andrew Fleck, and today our focus is going to be drawn near where Tropical Storm Chantal is still a ways away from the Caribbean, but the next few days into mid and late week, this storm will begin to impact the islands and even the United States. We're going to sit down here today and we're going to discuss all those factors and even a bit of some correlations that I found from this storm and this overall pattern with previous storms from previous years. So currently the image that you're looking at is our forecast and what we think Chantal is going to do within the next 5 days. Obviously in the most lower right hand corner we have the position of Chantal right now. The colors are intensity coded, thus the green, yellow, orange, red, that is all from lower to higher intensities. You can see that definitely by midweek or late week we find Chantal in that orange and red just southeast of Puerto Rico and Haiti, and that we feel is going to be when Chantal's most strongest, or the most strongest of a tropical storm. And after that we then feel it's going to continue on a northwest turn and then maybe a north turn, and then beyond where Chantal begins to go after that is something we're still searching for, and we have actually an idea today which we're going to discuss. So the next image I'm going to go and show you is obviously our forecast models. We're going to show you all of the models and where they're pretty much taking Chantal. So as I've shown you here, we actually, on the lower right hand image here, we have obviously Chantal's current position, and we have all these models, and some are going one way, some are going the other way. But I feel that there's a very nice general agreement so far with at least up to Haiti where the storm is going to track. Obviously that would be right up to this point. Beyond here we have a bit of a split. We have a couple models going this way. We have also a few models going this way. So really our cone exists to be right in smack dab between Cuba and Florida and the Bahamas. Now, a lot of the most popular models are taking this storm further to the eastern edge of Cuba and then eventually landing north and then back northwest again, and that would cross over either Florida or through Georgia. Again, we do have some proof as to why we think that this would be the better handle for this storm so far, and that's what we're going to go in here and show you, that being why models are beginning to turn the storm back into Florida and this not making its way up the East Coast, which is a good thing for some of you East Coasters, especially if you're on vacation. And that we'll show you in this image. It's an image I love looking at. It's our 500 millibar anomaly image. It shows us where our blocking is. It shows us where obviously our stormy weather is, our drier weather, and this really helps indicate to me where this storm would be generally going and the steering that would come along with it. So obviously this is forecasted for 144 hours out, and this is where Chantal begins to get very close to the United States. Now what we can find here is in the highest yellows and oranges all the way up here, this is where we have a bit of a block. So if Chantal's down here, we can't really have the storm go up the eastern seaboard because it's going to hit this block. So what we think here at Geo-Environmental Atmosphere is that this low pressure is going to take more of a steering this way. And again, that would be due to that blocking. We have a high pressure over the west, we have a high pressure over the Atlantic. Those two absorbing together makes a strong block preventing this storm from going up the eastern seaboard, and instead either coming into Florida, Georgia, or of course even western from that. So I do have a few analogs here that I took of two storms from 1955 that displayed a very similar pattern. The first is going to be Jerry. Jerry was a storm that was only tropical storm ranked. It was not a very strong one, similar to what we have here with Chantal. Now Jerry at this time, and again this is the analog from Jerry in 1955, Jerry was positioned about right here. And notice every image I show you, the blocking that is up here. Now obviously Jerry can't go north because Jerry's going to hit the block. So Jerry has no other choice but to go northwest or west-northwest. Now, Jerry actually made landfall into Florida and actually went further northward into the southern United States, brought a lot of rain to the southeast and the Gulf Coast. But I still have a few other frames from Jerry, and we'll continue to show you that here. The next frame, Jerry gets closer to the coast. Notice the blocking over the north here. It can't go up the eastern seaboard. It has to go where there's an opening. That's westward. Then we have another image here. Jerry finally makes its landfall. You can still steadily see the blocking that's preventing it from moving northward. And then to finalize it, you can see very, very similar, especially at this frame, where the blocking is here and where Jerry went. And I'll also go right back to what I was just showing you guys on the actual forecast anomalies right here, where again you have this blocking that's about in the same position. And we had that Jerry that we just showed you was that storm, and it had to go this way. So if this is what's forecasted, obviously, and the analogs show a very similar output from Jerry in 1955, there would be a good example that this storm wouldn't be going up the eastern seaboard. It would be going further into the Gulf Coast or the southern southeast coast. Another analog I have that I do want to show you is Aaron from 1955. Now, Aaron was a stronger storm. Aaron was a hurricane. But overall, Aaron very much correlates well with Jerry, and the pattern very much correlates with what we have here waiting upon Chantal. Now, Aaron was out here in the southeast, or at least its wave was before it developed. So Aaron was really in just a very broad area of lower heights. Now I want you to notice the blocking up here. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward and show you what Aaron did eventually beyond that. Notice, like Jerry, Aaron had the same block. Aaron could not go up the eastern seaboard. Aaron was forced to go westward, and that is what this storm did. Then we have our another frame. Then Aaron, same as Jerry and same as this current forecast pattern, made a track further into Florida, and from Florida it continued into the Gulf states, making a landfall. And what I just find is so very interesting is you have this blocking here from Aaron, the same exact block that Jerry once had. And I'll show you that here even from Jerry. And there's Jerry. And then obviously we'll go and show you our forecast blocking pattern for Chantal. And that's right in there. So what I'm basically overall saying is there's two previous systems that have experienced this pattern before. And we know by those two, because of that pattern, they took a track that was very much similar to what I draw here. Or something like this. They did not go up the eastern seaboard. There was too much blocking up the eastern seaboard. So at this time, I can confidently say I do not feel that this has a chance of going up the eastern seaboard. Obviously, things can change. Obviously, there's 5 days away before Chantal gets to Florida. Obviously, within 5 days, we know it, and those who watch weather modeling know it. Things change. Environments can change significantly, especially in tropical environs. So it's very, very important that we closely watch this. Again, we obviously have a strong blocking from the west coast across the United States and off the Atlantic coastline. If there's a little bit of a break in there, that might allow Chantal still to have the chance to go up the eastern seaboard. But right now, it does not appear the storm will do that. Right now, it appears in our forecast that this storm will take its northwest direction throughout the next 2 to 3 days, become stronger by late week just south of the main, larger Greater Antilles Islands, and then beyond that begin to take a northwest direction, then perhaps a north direction. But the question that I still want to get down to is beyond that 5-day forecast that we have put out here, where does Chantal go beyond that? And as of right now, I'm in highly confident agreement that Chantal will take this track and Chantal will then take this track, or something very similar. Again, unless those two blocking high pressures north of Chantal open up and give the storm a break, that's the only way the storm goes up the eastern seaboard. But that has been something that the models have been backing away from. Instead, the storm making that direction and then going northwest. So that is what I think in this video, and I will have more videos out for you. But I'm glad that you were able to listen and you were able to learn a little bit about previous storms and what they did with a similar pattern. And we'll see if this can work. We'll see if it goes that way. And any changes, Geo-Environmental Atmosphere will let you know what happens. So thank you for watching this video, and continue to stay with us at Geo-Environmental Atmosphere and our website at geoea.org. Have a great rest of your day.